Listening Library presents Hit Me With Your Best Charm by Lillie Vale. Read for you by Elena and Mark Bramhall. Magic is always pushing and drawing and making things out of nothing. Everything is made out of magic. Leaves and trees, flowers and birds, badgers and foxes and squirrels and people. So it must be all around us, in all the places. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett.
Foreword from The Way of the Wish, chronicling the founding of our town from Henry Pryor's journal, published by his descendants in 1999. Dear Reader, a year before the Revolutionary War would result in American victory, a young Henry Pryor, then 22, founded the town of Pryor's End. He was the youngest of his family to survive, having lost his older brothers in battle and his younger brother in a swimming accident. Failing to save his beloved brother from the tragedy of drowning was perhaps Henry Pryor's earliest regret. History may have forgotten this young man, the last living Pryor, had it not been for his discovery of a mysterious staircase made of ancient stone. These steps are believed by some to be a gateway to a forgotten place long lost to time, where dwindling traces of magic still reside. Others theorize that they're remnants of an ancient mythical civilization more creature than human. Yet others claim they are an invitation from the spirits of the forest to come seek a hidden treasure. Whatever their origin, the stairs did indeed lead Pryor and the company he traveled with to a treasure. His journal reveals the stone stood as high as a grown man's shoulder and was untouched by the passing of time. Curiously, the markings on the stone were in English. Pryor's journal reveals them as a warning disguised as a riddle. For the well to undo prior woe for you, a gift you must bring, a coin offering. For only one will you get to prevent your regret. These woods are the bridge to all that you wish. Your hurts we will stitch, but should you break faith, beware the wraiths, until you are ready for me to diminish. Fearing unchecked human greed and exploitation, Pryor felt called to protect the miracle from misuse at some point after its discovery in 1782. By the time the war ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1783, town founder Henry Pryor had defaced his own notes to obscure the location of the wishing well. Modern historians take a less noble view of his actions. Eyewitness accounts are subject to memory bias and differ widely among the co-witnesses who accompanied Pryor on his journey, with some allegations of threats against those who spoke about what they had seen. Pryor's hand of fate changed swiftly afterward. The woman to whom he once gave offense and who had later rejected his suit in marriage became so lovesick for him that her intended jilted her at the altar in shame. Pryor then set aside his own betrothed in order to marry her. Debts he incurred to build the town of Pryor's End were mysteriously forgiven. Most strange of all is that none who were present at the discovery of the wishing well survived the decade. In his later years, letters exchanged between his wife and her family expressed that Pryor was tormented by the death of his brother, which he felt was at his hands. It is baffling, then, that he never used the power of the wishing well to undo this regret. His wife later disappeared, allegedly with a lover, though historical records are unclear on the circumstances. Letters to her brother gave us a glimpse at an unhappy marriage, but they are hearsay only, as the evidence was lost in a fire that killed his wife's brother and his family. After the mourning period, he married the woman he had once set aside. There was constant enmity between the children from his first and second marriages. Over the years, Pryor was accused of coercion, bribery, intimidation, and murder. He never went to trial and lived to see future generations of his many children and grandchildren. These allegations petered out by the end of the 19th century. Later generations of Pryors fought for the Union Army during the American Civil War, became governors of Tennessee, and were inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Today they are teachers, doctors, and small business owners raising their families in the small but thriving town of Pryor's End. One thing is clear. Never has there been a Pryor so revered or so reviled as Henry Pryor. History regards both the man and the myth with skepticism. To some, he is an adventurer. To others, merely an opportunist. We will perhaps never know the truth. This is humanity's eternal quarrel with history. The Rose Family.
Part 1. Pryor's End. Chapter 1. Nova, if you weren't so good at keeping secrets, you wouldn't be in the dark maw of the forest now. Certainly not on the heels of dusk, hugging myself against the biting cold and the prickling unease. Definitely not after I'd been forbidden by my last remaining parent. Not once, not twice, but as long as memory. And considering these are the same woods that stole my father from us 7 years ago, Mom has good reason. But she's given up hope, and I never will. I try to make it out here once a week, try to push myself to go an extra step, then 50 feet, then half a mile. Today, I'm the farthest I've ever been. But compared to the impossible vastness of Longing Woods, that's not saying much. Between school, home, volunteering, and friends, I don't get to spend much time here. It's not nothing, but at this rate, I'll never find Dad. And after this long, I'm the only one still looking. If anyone knew I was doing this, they'd say it was a fool's hope, a desperate daughter plunging headfirst into danger to find a man everyone else believes to be long dead. Maybe they're right. But my heart tells me my dad is alive. And if he is, I'm his last hope. He's been missing exactly 7 years to the day of our town's fall festival. Today is scarred into us like my parents' initials carved into the bark of the trees I passed a mile back. Losing him isn't something we've gotten over or moved past, as though such a thing should even be possible. One of the people who loved me the most in the world is gone. Nothing about that will ever be okay. Mom and I have never acknowledged the anniversary of his disappearance. Not even once. It hurt and confused me when I was a child. But I get it now. It already tortures Mom enough every other day of the year. The last thing I want is to compound it. But here I am, doing just that. Is it worth risking Mom's wrath and being grounded for the rest of my junior year? Without question. There are thousands of living things merrily going about their business, completely unconcerned with the fading day and the teenage girl in their midst and the fear nipping at her heart. I'm the furthest thing from alone out here, but that's not as comforting as it sounds. Strange noises always follow me wherever I go. Something more than the wind rustling dry leaves or crickets calling to each other. There, There it is again.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?